Hey, good afternoon. Greetings from the great state of Texas where it's 102, which might not sound that bad, except I was working out in the yard and this is the coolest day we've had this week, 102. And I said to myself, I think it's time to go do another pen review. So here in the nice air-conditioned room, we're going to do a pen review today, and it's the Platinum Preppy. And I would show it to you, but you know what I did? I was so excited about the air conditioning and ice water, I forgot the pen. So I'm going to flip the camera, grab the pen, and I'll go get the pen. Okay, I found it. Put it down while I was getting everything ready. This is the Platinum Plaisir, and it's Plaisir. If I'm saying that right or not, I don't know. But this is an aluminum-bodied pen, so it's pretty light. It is I think it's well made. It's not an overly expensive pen, but it has some nice design and flourish there on the metal band around. The blue, I think you can see that pretty well, catching in the light, is a really nice color. They also have they got green and black and white and silver and gold and several other colors. I'll show you. I'll get a tablet here and show you some of the choices that they've got. But it is a really nice pen. Not heavy. If you don't like heavy pens, this is a really nice pen that isn't heavy because of that aluminum design. Another neat feature about this pen, they designed the cap and the nib and mechanism and everything, the feeder, in a way that it doesn't dry out if you don't use it for a while. And even though this is one of my favorite pens, I have a lot of favorite pens. So sometimes it might be a month or two before I rotate back around to this one. And because of the design, it's made that it won't dry out. And so when you go to write with this pen after a couple of months, I don't even know that I've ever had a hard start. I just take the cap off and start writing, even after 2 or 3 months. And if you're not new to fountain pens, you know that's really an impressive thing, because often even a really good pen is going to dry out in a few weeks, certainly in a month or two. It's going to dry out, and then you're going to have a crusty mess that you have to clean and do maintenance on, but not this pen. I don't know if it is part of that particular system or I don't see why it would help with that, but it does help with keeping the ink moving and flowing so that when you pick it up, it's ready to go, and it helps get this ink down to where you need it. There is a BB inside the cartridge. Now, because of the way this pen is, probably best you use their cartridges, I would think. The Platinum cartridges, and they're not expensive, that's not a problem, and they have good ink. Very good pen though. I'll show you how it writes and show you up close the nib and some other features of the pen, but it is one I recommend. This is not one that I just got. This is one I've had for, I don't know, year and a half, maybe even 2 years. It's been a while because I've had a couple of those 2-month periods at least where I've been rotating through other pens. And again, this one just picks up and writes every single time. It's great because that's really one of the major downsides some people may see to a fountain pen. And on this pen, it's not a downside. It's also not a downside to some other Platinum pens. There's the Platinum Preppy, I'll show you here in a second, which is a very inexpensive pen, great for a back-to-school gift to a student in your life, because the summer's almost over, isn't it? Even though it's going to be 100 here for a while, but summer's still almost over. It'd be a great back-to-school gift, either this one or the Platinum Preppy. So let's flip the camera again, and let's see how this writes and show you up close some of the features of the pen. Okay, before we get into the features of the pen and everything, let me just show you right quick what I meant by them having a lot of colors. This is on the JetPens website, and you can see that they sell the pen for $14.25. They have lots of different colors. There's black, green, red, orange, black. There's a lavender, a sky blue, silver, orange. Oh, I like that one, the orange. That's my old school colors. And of course they've got the blue that I've showed you here, gold, another blue, pink, just all kinds of things, and in a couple of different nib sizes. So you might want to check out JetPens, or you can find this elsewhere, but they have quite a bit of variety of the Platinum Plaisir pen. Okay, so here is the nib. I apologize, the lighting is not the best today, but it is a 0.3 steel nib, and it does write, I would say it's a good 0.3. I mean, some pens you get them in a fine and they write medium, things like that, but this really does have a nice, crisp, fine line. I'll show you that in the writing test here in a second. But it's very reliable, good flow, good feed, all those kinds of things. I think it does its job really well, especially for what is basically an inexpensive pen, maybe at the high end of inexpensive or something like that. But it does the job well, it writes well, and like I said, with what is for them a very successful design of the cap and the nib and feed, being able to pick this pen up, and it always is just reliable, really, to me, it's one of the big selling points of the pen, and it's why I like it. It's why it's a keeper for me. It's just a nice pen, and I did show you earlier that it does. Their ink, I think, is good. I'm not sure if this is anything that you could ever convert to an ink dropper. I probably wouldn't recommend it for that. I would probably just keep cartridges in it because I've had such a problem-free experience simply sticking with their stuff on this. So very, very good pen. I do have here, I mentioned earlier, the Platinum Preppy. And if you've got a student going back to school, or if you are going back to school, my wife just graduated from college and is starting her teaching career, and she got one of these in red. The Platinum Preppy is an inexpensive pen. It's just a few bucks. Really cheap, but the good kind of cheap. It is a well-made pen. It has all the same features in terms of the cap design and uses the same nib. This one, too, is very reliable pen. You can tell this one's pretty worn. I've had it for a long time. But it's a good pen, and of course it is made in Japan, which they make great pens, and a lot of my favorite pens are from Japan. That same steel nib. This one also, I believe, is a 0.3 as well. And this one, every time I want to use it, it is ready to go, just like the other one. So if you're looking for something that's less expensive, yours won't look like that. That's just my own wear and tear. Then the Platinum Preppy is a great pen. It's a good starter pen, but this is a great throw in your laptop bag pen. I have never had it leak, and I've never had it go dry and do a hard start. So either of these Platinum pens is going to be a really good pen for you. Okay, let me show you how this pen writes. This is the Platinum Preppy. You can see that this is a standard platinum cartridge that is in black ink. So that's just kind of what will come with your pen. And I've ordered, of course, they have regular standard blacks and blues and all that good stuff. And let's see, we'll do our regular 1, 2, 3. As you can see, the pen is writing well. Boy, I'm not. This is the most awkward angle to reach around this camera today. It's not my normal setup. But as you can see, the pen writes really well. I would definitely recommend this pen to you and think it is a great deal. The color, of course, and the color choices. For me, I like this blue, but there's some other good ones. That green looks great. My wife keeps kind of hinting that, maybe Christmas stocking gift, that might need to come around. The orange, that's just because I'm a Central High Bobcat, and we were orange, and so that just appeals to me. The Platinum Preppy, which is, again, just a nice, inexpensive, and a demonstrator style pen, is also a good deal. I have this one in blue, and I have it in black, and I'll show you. You know what? That's not a Preppy up there. That is the Plaisir. I can fix that, can't I? And this one too, I'm just going to do a simple quick test, is also just a good pen. Writes better than I'm writing today at this weird angle. But this is a very good pen too, and I would highly recommend that. And if you just want to try the Platinum out and see if that promise that it stays good even in a drawer is really worthwhile, then grab one of these and try it, and then you know what's going to happen. You're going to be so happy with that one that this one's going to end up in your drawer as well, because they are just both great pens, the Platinum Plaisir and the Platinum Preppy. Have a great afternoon. Stay out of the heat if you're here in Texas, and have a great week. Thanks for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe.